U.S. consumer confidence fell for the fifth straight month, hitting its lowest level since May of 2020. And this comes as a new LendingTree survey shows some pretty eye-opening numbers. Look at this. 25% of Americans who have buy now, pay later loans are using them to help afford groceries. And that number is up from 14%. You're also looking at another number on your screen. 41% of those customers admit to making a late payment on a loan in the past year. That number is up from 34% the year prior. For more on all of this, I'm joined by Nathan Bomey. He's a business reporter for Axios, joining us from Washington. Nathan, good morning to you. Let's start with the Consumer Confidence Index. We can assume, but help us understand why we're seeing those numbers drop these days.
Well, I think the consumer is seeing all the headlines and they're concerned. I mean, for example, you look at the stock market volatility early this year, 62% of Americans own stocks. So this is not just something for upper income folks. Most people have some sort of equity in the stock market. And so when they see their 401k going down, they know that that means that maybe their retirement's a little bit far off, and that can affect their confidence. So I think that's one big thing. And then the tariffs that have of course caused a lot of that stock market volatility have inspired concerns about inflation, and people just got off of a few years of inflation and they don't want to do that again.
And, for people who are fortunate enough to invest, that's the concern they're feeling. But this survey that we've just referenced is also a reason for alarm. More Americans using these buy now, pay later loans, which can offer carry interest. What do you make of that?
Yeah, this is becoming increasingly popular. This is basically where you are at the cash register and they offer you the chance to buy now and pay later, exactly what it says. And so, that started with some big ticket purchases, and that wasn't dissimilar to maybe taking a loan out on your credit card. But now it's spread into other things. So, for example, just a few weeks ago, DoorDash added buy now, pay later. So you can actually buy now, pay later for your takeout, for your delivery. And so it's getting into other aspects of life. And when people are putting off purchases, it adds to this quote unquote hidden debt, which can ultimately create a more stressed consumer.
And so the hidden debt seems to be getting bigger, and so is actual debt. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Americans have a total credit card balance of $1.2 trillion. Effectively, it's the highest balance since the New York Fed began tracking this way back in 1999. Is this another data point making your overall point that people are stretched and stressed?
I think it is, absolutely. I think when you see people putting more and more bills on the credit card, that's concerning because it does suggest that they don't necessarily have the cash flow to pay for it up front. Now, we would expect credit card debt to go up over time as inflation continues to cost things that cost more, and incomes continue to go up. But if it's going up at a pace, as it is, that exceeds those things, then that can be really concerning.
All right, Nathan Bomey, appreciate you joining us from Washington.
Thank you.